kia ora mai anō. Tini ngā mihi ka mihia, so I won't go there. But firstly to say that I am from Te Orewai, from Ngāti Hine, here in Taitokerau. And as has already been said, I am a kaitiaki from Te Orewai, but also the chair of ngā kaitiaki o ngā wai Māori. So welcome to Whangarei from the hapu of Whangarei. Let me start by saying categorically that the compounding effects of current land use and land management practice with each increasing serious climate change event is the greatest threat to the whenua, our wai Māori and our waitai. In 2007, Ngāti Hau raised long-held concerns about the pump stations on the Hikurangi Swamp, the destruction of migrating tuna during floods. This concern prompted hapu to come together in 2012. Hapu from Ngāti Hau, Ngāti Kahu o Torongari, Te Orewai. Thank you. Kia ora, thank you. Ngāti Hine, Te Uriroroi, and Te Parawhau, to form ngā kaitiaki o ngā wai Māori. We are the hapu surrounding the Hikurangi Repo, that is the headlands of the Wairua Kaipara catchment in the Whangarei district. The Wairua catchment is 75,000 hectares in size, a third of Taitokerau, and stretches from Ngāti Hau on the east coast, across all of our hapu roheawa to the Wairua, before it reaches the Wairoa and the Kaipara Harbour in the west. Mana i te whenua underpins hapu rangatiratanga. It is the sovereign right confirmed in the Waitangi Tribunal Stage 1 hearings here in Te Paparahi o Te Raki in 2009 and 10. It affirms our right to be self-determining in our own lands, about the natural resources and many taonga in the awa, on the whenua and in our ngahere. The awa are unique. They are not fixed, but flowing, belonging to each of us in our rohe, our neighbours before and after us along the catchment. This leaves us a binding relationship and responsibility for us all to work together along the catchment. In 2012, the Sentinel legislation over the Uruweras gave the protection, rights and privileges assigned to a person to the whenua. This shook the global Indigenous community. Ko au te whenua, ko te whenua ko au. This resonates with us all as hapu kaitiaki, as does the later legislation for your own Whanganui River. Ko au te awa, ko te awa ko au, which is particularly pertinent, as Ken has talked about, the Waitangi Tribunal's most recent report, where we saw the tribunal slam the Crown for letting... I talk too much. We saw the Waitangi Tribunal slam the Crown for letting rivers and lakes get so polluted, for essentially blocking Māori from helping to fix the problem. The Tribunal released the landmark report that highlights a series of failures in the Resource Management Act. The RMA and the subsequent freshwater management policies have failed to meet the Treaty of Waitangi's standard of active protection. The Act did not provide adequately for tino rangatiratanga, kaitiakitanga, of iwi and hapu over our freshwater taonga. It also suggests taking a test case to the courts to determine whether native title in freshwater exists as a matter of common law. That will be interesting. It's fundamental to acknowledge the water is just like whenua Māori. It is a taonga under Article 2, and we have not had the legislation that has removed that from us, nor have we given it up. So we support the Tribunal's recommendations to the Crown to provide more funding, to restore freshwater bodies and to help Māori participate in the RMA process, to change the law to make councils work with hapu and iwi on freshwater management, to make co-design of policy with Māori a standard process. They also said where Māori interests are concerned. That seemed rhetorical to me. I couldn't think of anywhere Māori interests are not concerned. To monitor councils to ensure they and those individually working within the RMA process meet their obligations to Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Goodness. As kaitiaki, we have to be multitaskers. From the full range of on-the-ground mahi, doing whatever we can to ensure our awa are clean and able to protect and support the range of taonga species that live in them, including our waitai taonga species that travel up our inland waterways. We'd like to monitor the water quality in our awa, as some whānau living at the kāinga draw water for domestic use, particularly in those long hot summers. But in the heart of whenua Māori, there's not a lot of water quality monitoring going on there by the Regional Council. We want to change that. We also have to raise the bar on the minimum standard. Wadeable and swimmable water isn't good enough for us. Our standard must be safe, drinkable water. So kaitiaki are out there cleaning up the waterways, planting riparian strips, and improving our wetlands. We calendar the myriad of funding rounds where the same work goes into a $2,000 application as a $50,000 one. We must seek funded partnerships to work in our own awa. Seek every opportunity that comes along that aligns to our tikanga and our kawa, our values and our principles. We have to be lawyers, alert to every sneaky or overt challenge to our mana i te whenua and our awa. Ready at a moment's notice to call hapu to yet another hui, another take, to mobilise to protect and defend our rights and responsibilities to the mokopuna of the future. With little or no resource, we must be constantly at the forefront, on the ground, doing the mahi at the kāinga. Sustainable biodiversity is not sustainable with an unpaid kaitiaki workforce. It's time all external authorities recognise the mana of hapu, from government agencies to iwi, local and regional councils, who all exclude us from conversations and resourcing to work in our own rohe whenua and awa. Iwi are absentee landlords with no interest or track record of talking to hapu or working with us on the ground here in the Whangarei district. It's time for hapu to be recognised and directly funded by the Crown, so we can continue to expand the mahi on the ground that will be the turning point of change. Hapu are an overlooked opportunity and an enormous resource to clean up our wai Māori and regenerate our whenua Māori. But we need to be valued the same as everybody else at the table. Ngā kaitiaki o ngā wai Māori hapu want to be a key part of the immediate and long-term sustainable management of the catchment by applying traditional mātauranga, to explore and strengthen the interface between both mātauranga and Western science in our collaborative mahi along the Wairua catchment, which is our end of the Kaipara catchment. Mātauranga is not competing with Western science, nor vice versa, but presents our own worldview with values and tikanga to interpret what is happening and how to make change. But it is hinged on the commitment to the whole dynamic, of an holistic, balanced worldview of need over greed. There's not a single bottom line, and the currency is personal and social oranga, balancing moderation through manaaki and rahui. Wealth is not measured by what you have, but what you give. Māori have our own knowledge systems, which should not be disregarded or misplaced when scientific knowledge is present. This mahi could help us to explain to non-Māori perhaps, to farmers, and promote mātauranga as a valued knowledge system, bringing new ways to see the old world and do things differently perhaps. And Rereata and Tohe and others will bring a sharper focus to traditional knowledge and mātauranga later in the conference. But mātauranga could bring in a better understanding and ability to better manage our environment. We are not the first kaitiaki to want to measure the Māori of the awa, but it is revolutionary and challenging here in our part of Te Tai Tokerau. It shakes the refuge of cultural ignorance and institutional racism that kaitiaki have endured for far too long in efforts to protect the taonga of their rohe whenua and their awa. Our audience is not just the captive audience of iwi Māori, or whānau, or hapu, but it is the broader community of both Māori and non-Māori, who live on and work along our Wai Māori and Wai Tai, in the long reaches of our catchments from freshwater to the harbour. It isn't just challenging Western science with traditional knowledge, it's having the courageous and compelling conversations of our time to shift regulation, policy, process, and planning that is inherent in bureaucracy to do things better. We've tried one way for a long time and it isn't working. It's time to try another way, to work together to turn the curve of change, which is not to say it's all piro, but there is much to be done, and we are seeing our non-Māori counterparts feeling the discomfort of disruptive systemic change. That's a change. Ngā kaitiaki o ngā Wai Māori was established for hapu to work together to protect and restore the mana and Māori of the awa. Through the strength of whakapapa and whanaungatanga, ngā kaitiaki have continued to raise concern about the ill state of the waterways and the struggles of migrating tuna and the lifeless stretches of redirected drains. Whakapapa is not solely genealogy, but interconnectedness and relationships between people, their environments, and all life forms within those environments. There have been many talk fests that whānau and hapu have engaged in over the years, with various iterations of ag and fish, then MPI, district and regional councils. Many years of talking about the problems, making submissions to plans, to consent applications, writing iwi and hapu environmental management plans that typically result in little more than a disregard without any opportunity to participate in, inform, or even, here's a radical idea, perhaps lead effective change. While there are pockets of valuable work that kaitiaki are engaged in, I've heard from some, Millans for example, they are the exception. They are not the norm of hapu kaitiaki funded to undertake our own research on our own terms in our own waterways. It's not enough. Hapu are present on the ground, at the kāinga, living in the waterways and on the whenua. Hapu provide a ready workforce throughout the country that can be mobilised to lead and address the enormity of improving our waterways. So spread the love so hapu kaitiaki are valued and paid to do the mahi on the ground. The job is huge to clean up our waterways, but there is an equally huge opportunity to have a paid workforce of hapu kaitiaki working together on the ground, working together on ground-up solutions. We have seen the strength of hapu unity in the Ngāpuhi claims landscape. The call to mobilise hapu to come together has become a growing strength that can no longer be ignored for collaboration and whanaungatanga. There is much tension between hapu and iwi in the Whangarei district. Let's be clear. It is hapu leadership here, not iwi, that rallies the whānau to protect our taonga, doing the heavy lifting on the ground every day. The Kaipara Catchment Agreement, currently being finalised between iwi and the Crown and several councils, is an example of ignoring hapu, particularly those of us in the Whangarei district who in our own right hold mana i te whenua over our rohe awa. We are doing the mahi in our individual rohe that creates the collective impact for the whole catchment. Yet 9 years of this kōrero has somehow gone over and around us, but not to us or with us. This has to change. Ngā Kaitiaki o Ngā Wai Māori is a partner in several key partnerships working in our awa under mana enhancing agreements. They include a 5-year research relationship with Niwa that is a unique world-first research project where Indigenous hapu are working with Niwa scientists in the transfer, release of alvas and surveying the waterways each year, looking for alvas and increasing numbers of tuna. We acknowledge the many tupuna and matua who have taken action when they have seen the destruction of our tuna and worked for many years to address the threat of extinction of our tuna. The late Hori Tuhiwai from Korokota, looking for you, Phoenicia. Kia ora. Who worked for many years, began transferring tuna, intervening before they have chopped up in the Wairua power station turbines, carrying them by bucket, by the bin load to shift them above and away from the threat of the power station. His legacy lives on with his Korokota whānau continuing the alva transfers. Ngā Kaitiaki are also working with the Waimā, Waitai, Waiora partnership, where the Integrated Kaipara Harbour Management Group is also a partner, and recently hosted the Prime Minister in the announcement of a further $12 million to freshwater remediation work in catchments throughout the country. Hapu welcomed the unlikely opportunity to be directly resourced for the mahi we are doing in that space. While there are great things being done in the Waimā Waitai Waiora partnership, including the investment in developing our own hapu kawa waiora, which could translate into farmers developing their own kawa to return the mauri of the awa on their farms. How unbelievably great would that be? But kawa and mauri are not external columns on the ledger. They are the internalised dynamic of life values and principles that overlay the physical and spiritual landscape of who we are and how we operate with each other and with the world. Do you think farmers could be convinced of the relevance of kawa and mauri? Can the uplifting principles of tapu and mana underpin our own and their regard for the awa and the whenua? Perhaps. It just depends on the quality of the conversation and the willingness to embrace a new way of seeing and living in the world. There is so much more that needs to be done to turn the curve of change to embrace mātauranga. Some days I'm completely sceptical at the likelihood of that ever actually happening. Others, I feel more positive. This is the Hikurangi Repo. It was the large, bountiful larder of kai for surrounding hapu here in Whangarei. The abundance of tuna from the repo is legendary. Hikurangi Repo was the largest swamp in the Southern Hemisphere. It's 5,670 hectares in size. From the early 1900s, settlement and land management practices cleared and drained the swamp, becoming the highest grossing dairy site in Taitokerau. But even the farmers who intensively farm the repo are beginning to see the folly of past practice. It's unsurprising that the biggest issue for the Kaipara catchment is sedimentation. It's been described by some as the river running upside down, where the paru is on the top. Ngā Kaitiaki o Ngā Wai Māori is working with councils, NGOs, farmers, landowners and surrounding hapu to find solutions to the collapsed lung that is the repo. 100 years of man-made interventions, including the 60-year-old pumps that are way past their due-by date. They seriously threaten our tuna. The flooding that surges over the stop banks turns the repo into an ocean, as you can see. When the tuna heke starts, the tuna race headlong to the pump stations. With no alternative safe passage, they're chopped up and killed by the hundreds and thousands over the years. The Hikurangi Repo is now impacted by ageing design, upper catchment sedimentation, poor flow, obstructed fish passage, significant tuna mortality and aged infrastructure. With the prohibitive cost of infrastructural corrective action, remediation to correct the slew of issues in the repo is not on the cards for the foreseeable future. But we will continue this cat and mouse dance to find sustainable solutions for the repo and the Wairua catchment. Increasingly, we see evidence of cataclysmic climate change across the media, all over the planet. We almost become desensitised to the frequency and severity of these events that so many people all over the world suffer. In my own rohe, in Te Orewai, we are surrounded on three sides by forestry giants. With current harvesting expected to be up to 20 years in duration, the impact of climate change events is very threatening. A slash event like the East Coast had last year is only time away. We are trying to work with both Regional Council and the foresters to mitigate that threat, to have paid kaitiaki monitor slash traps. But we are currently being pushed back and ignored by both the Regional Council and the foresters. To some extent, Te Orewai is Shangri-La of good and bad. Good because not much has been done on or with the land since it was seized by the Crown 60 years ago. Bad because not much has been done since it was seized over 60 years ago. When we look at the whenua, we see the encroaching march of pest weeds on the whenua, pests destroying our ngahere, and pests choking our awa. At the southern end of our 7,000 acre block, where the dairy farmers are, the rivers that once ran free and clean with an abundance of tuna is clogged with weeds and algae. You'd probably drown if you fell in, as the coverage of weeds is so dense, as you can see. At the other end, 30 odd kilometres away, is the wall of forestry, where the awa look clean and free-flowing until they're not. I recently took some whānau to visit an ancient taonga that one of our larrikin tohunga boss Tipene showed us about 20 years ago. It's Te Hoanga, an ancient whetting stone used to shape and sharpen stone tools, implements maybe even weapons. When I first saw it stood in an open clearing, about waist to chest high, from bottom to top. It is completely, perfectly spherical. And it's different in geology and shape to most of the stony bottom river stones in Aotearoa. But it has a clear wedge cut into it that crosses about 2 feet across the circumference, and it's about the depth of a couple of inches, no more. It's rounded on the contour of the top of this ancient kohatu. It isn't hard to imagine the sawing action to shape and sharpen stone on stone. You wouldn't sharpen metal tools or implements on this ancient stone. It wouldn't work. 20 odd years ago, this taonga sat safely on an expansive, grassed clearing, the river probably about 20 to 50 metres away to the east and flowing in a parallel direction. But when we returned 20 odd years later, we found the river has changed direction, moved from one side of the block to the opposite side, gouging a new course about 1.5 metres in depth across an expanse of about 8 to 10 metres. I'm not sure how quickly that might happen, as it looked very harmless on the day that we were there. But it's obvious by the debris of trees lying around about that it was some waipuke that has done this. That some really fast and forceful flow of water has redirected the river and cut a new path, and in doing so, removed the earth Te Hoanga sat on for centuries to now lie smashed in the bottom of the riverbed. Thank you for your time this morning, and I leave these key statements for you to consider. Hapu have mana I te whenua and over our awa. Mātauranga is the new thinking to turn the curve of change, to sustainably improve our awa and protect our taonga species. Hapu kaitiaki are a valuable resource and should be duly recognised and resourced. Land management and land use practices have cataclysmic compounding effects with each weather change event that threatens the biodiversity of our whenua, awa and ngahere. We all need to work together, be smart and open to new thinking. Kia ora koutou.
I te huinga homai te piki paki paki ki tō tātou waene, Adela Rain.